All right, here we go, guys. Are we ready to do some product research? Let me know if you're in here. If you're in the house, say hello, comments, like, engage. If we share the posts, we'll make some money. Why not? Let's give away some money today. I'm feeling pretty good. I like to do this with those who get involved, especially if you're brand new. Hey, it's Neil Twa. I am the CEO of Voltage Holdings. I am over software and other fun things. Amazon selling from SaaS to product research to sourcing to growing and scaling private label brands with FBA. If you are hanging out with me today, then you are one of those people too. So say hello. Let me know how you are. I'm going to chime in here for a second. Then we're going to get going. Get your comments and reactions going. If you guys are sharing this post, you know how it goes. I love to give away money. Every 25 shares, I give away $25. Give a free Amazon gift card. Buy a present for yourself or a family member. Who knows what. If you're hearing me loud and clear, give me a yes, give me a like, give me a love, give me some love. So we are doing product research. It's 3 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. What is today? The 22nd. Wow, today is flying along. October is moving very quickly. We're heading towards the holiday season, and wow, if it isn't going to be a doozy this year, I will be super surprised. So everybody, thank you for joining. Let me know you're here. It's always interactive. I love to give ideas. I love to get ideas. If you've got products or things you want to vet, if you want to trick me, if you want to try to trip me up, if you want me to just talk and give you guys some product ideas, that's my goal here today. It's really just to help you unlock the concept and understanding of product mining and building a big list. We call it the most list, a most list of products that you can think of together in the different niches that you're attempting to source in, whether it's sporting, outdoor goods, kitchenwares, etc. We always recommend you stay away from things like electronics, jewelry, and clothing. Anything in the mouth or on the skin, save yourself the trouble of going into those. Okay, they are not within the top 5. We suggest you sell in. So thank you for joining. Jan's in the house. Nicole is in his house. We have everybody here today. I love doing these things, and I should do them more in maybe like a podcast format sometimes too. I don't know, guys. Would you listen to a podcast if we did a podcast? I've actually debated the ASIN360 podcast for a while now, and I have tossed it around. If you think that might be something you would subscribe and listen to and download, give me a yes or a comment. Give me a feedback. Give me a survey real quick. And if you think it's be valuable, we'll talk about everything Amazon in there. And again, it'll be more of a podcast format than a live video format. So I have debated the ASIN360 podcast for a while now, and I'm kind of on the edge of doing it. So maybe you guys can convince me that it's something we should be doing more of here going forward. But today we're about product research. If you're on here today, your goal is to look for products. If you are one of my students, welcome to the call. If you're not a student or a member of anything we're doing, my name is Neil Twa. I am, again, the CEO of Voltage Holdings. We do SaaS software, product research, product selling, FBA selling, private brand, private label. We build real e-com businesses with the beginning and the end in mind. Of course, we do no retail, wholesale, online, or arbitrage, and don't recommend you do either. I literally was on a very sad phone call yesterday with someone whose total retail, online, arbitrage business has collapsed under the weight of that activity. It's not the first time I've heard that. So if you're listening to me, build a real e-com business with private label brands. That is the thing you should hear from me. It's the thing you should get from me. It's the thing you should pay attention to. If you're in the process of doing retail, online, arbitrage, wholesaling, that kind of stuff, and drop shipping, and you're on Amazon, just be aware you are outside of Amazon's terms of service. You are playing black hat with them, and if you get shut down, it's your own fault. I'm sorry. I'm just here to tell you guys the truth. You might want to whine and complain about your business getting shut down, but at the end of the day, know the risks you're playing. If you want to go do it, just realize you're not within their terms of service, and they have a right to shut you down. If you are doing real e-com with branded private label products, you are within the terms of service, and guess what? You can operate happily ever after for many years to come with lots of organic benefits and growth by playing the rules. Play by the rules, folks. That's what we're doing here today. We are playing by the rules. So as we look for products, we are looking for things that we are going to private label brand. We are going to put them into FBA. We may stick some of them in 3PL or FBM for the time being as we're launching them in the market, but they will always end up as FBA products. So if that's what you guys are here to do, if that's what you want to learn about, then let's get started. Let me know who you are in the call. Let me know where you're coming in from. Always good to hear from you guys if you're coming in outside of my network. We do a lot of different things, as I mentioned. We also have free Amazon seller trainings that are coming up. I have one coming up on the 26th, where many of you have come through before. I teach you the beginning steps, the basics. If you're already selling on Amazon, I help you work past your product list, and then how to actually analyze products and then get them to the level of sourcing. It's one of the things we do with people every couple weeks or so. And that may be one of you guys. So it is free Amazon seller training. I will give you some of those links later, or they'll be in the descriptions above. So let's get on to the fun thing today, and that is looking for products. If you're with me and you're ready to look for some products, give me a yes in the comments. Give me a yes. I want to see your yeses. If you are or have any ideas, which particular type of products you are wanting to sell or evaluate, then you will have the opportunity to do that today. So make sure that you guys are staged up and ready to go. Give me any ideas you might have. I will put those up. If not, I'm going to go through a couple of techniques that I like to go through. You guys kind of know the product mining technique of coming through what we call our mining or urban mining hack. Most of you have kind of come through that. You understand, and really that's a huge win for those of you who realize that your urban environment and everything that is around you is actually for sale and someone else is selling it, so why can't you? The one I love to play with on Thursdays is let's go into my orders, which you can do too, and let's see what's being bought, and is there anything on here that we've already bought that we could go ahead and sell? So if you're having any technical challenge, Billy says he's having some technical. I don't know about iPads, man. It's either an iPhone works, or if you're on desktop, that works too. You might try something besides your iPad if you're having trouble with this. It's a Facebook Live, so you might need the Facebook actual application installed on your iPad in order to get it to work. I don't know with all the technical stuff there, but that could get you to work. So let's make sure that we are all hearing each other as we go through. I was looking through this the other day. My kids were doing some craft work, which is cool. There's a 1,600 piece pipe cleaner. You can source them for like $3 on Alibaba, but I don't recommend it because they're super oversaturated. But crafts are a really cool one. I have a couple of people we know who are doing craft marketing stuff online, and it does very well. Just looking through the first page, I don't think I have to go too much farther. Don't sell anything in the food or grocery right now. It's just going to be a bit difficult, especially during this time of year. Not that you shouldn't consider it, but I wouldn't recommend you necessarily go after it right now. But let's go through the next page real quick. More items to explore at the bottom of your order page is always fun because it does show you a whole lot of cool ideas. More items to explore can be data mined into infinite opportunity. We've done that a lot here on the free training. For those of you who've come along, you know that. We are capable of finding so many great products. Now, here's the thing, guys. As you know, finding the products and understanding the products and validating the products to profitability and sellability is that Grand Canyon-sized gap, all right? The first two steps we show you today, the gap that most people get stuck on in all sincerity is just knowing with confidence that, okay, if I sell this product, this filter accessory kit. I'm going to just click on this one right off the random here. This is an eyepiece filter accessory. It's knowing that without a doubt, this product is going to sell and it's going to make me good money. And when you do the product research the way we do it, when you go through and validate the products the way we validate them, you will know with 80% confidence that this is a product you should sell, that you can compete in, that you know who the competition is, that it's not saturated, and that you will come in dominating the absolute snot out of something like this. Now, Celestron, I have no idea who that brand is. I do like this case. I like this, the professional and affinity level of the case. I don't like this listing because they're not doing some of the things that I recommend they do. Now, is it possible they're making $564,998.24 on this product? Yep, it is possible. Why? Because it is considered the Department of Electronics, which is a big level department with a lot of moving products. And they are currently number one with Node 1. So we just went to like the place you shouldn't go because you're not going to be able to compete with this guy. But it does open an interesting market segment or a niche. And that's one of the other things we love to do today as we go through this, go through these efforts. And that is, we have just literally in one single click went into telescope accessories and eyepieces. Has anybody on this call considered selling these types of products? I will tell you right out of the gate, just based on the data and what I know about this market, it is basically an affinity level. I mean, people who go into telescopes are typically people who really like to understand the scope, what it is, the lenses, the filters, the how far out it goes, the variance in millimeters. They're in a niche of people who are like, not like audiophiles for the sound side, but they are very much into understanding all the niches and features and functions and what's the best product and not the best, and what scope and what size and shape and how far out the lens goes, the types of lens they're actually, like a Barlow lens they're using. These people really know their products very well, and they are willing to spend lots of money in these kinds of niches because they are really affinity driven, all right? And they say the riches is in the niches, okay? So astronomy, stargazing, planet watching, this kind of stuff, they are very detail-oriented people. Yes, Julie, you're correct. And they go through and they really like what they like. And when they latch onto certain brands and trustworthy pieces and components and stuff, they will fill it up. And this is a very well done listing. But again, this is a #1 product selling listing in the first node of telescope eyepieces. I mean, that's just the top end of the top end, guys. We went straight to the best, almost the best seller. I guess we're not really at the best seller, are we? We're at Amazon's choice, but for telescope eyepiece. But we're, not necessarily the best seller, but by #1 standard, they probably would be considered in eyepieces and electronics. So this is a product doing over $1 million to a month, which is cool, but it's a niche. And in niches, there's always a way to carve things out. So let's just go up to eyepieces, because this is a specific niche within the telescope and accessories. What are we at? The category level. Okay, we're not to the department, we're at the category, down to telescope eyepieces, which is the node. So people are specifically looking for these types of products. And as you can see, price points are good. If profitability and cost of goods matches up, you may have yourself a winner. And this is a niche you may not have considered. You may be in the photography niche and not have considered telescopes, or a part of telescopes is part of the photography, because you can obviously take pictures as part of this. I mean, let's just look at this one for a second. And there's a cellular phone mount adapter that is intended to take high-resolution photos from your telescopes. Now, that's an accessory. Like, this can even be attached to binoculars, which is cool. Telescopes, binoculars, microscopes. Okay, this is clever, right? $18.99, bestseller. In telescope photo adapters. Is there money in this market? Absolutely. Is this a product you could sell? Yeah, potentially. I mean, there's money in it. There's definitely money in this niche. Is it saturated or over competitive? That's where you would have to go do your diligence in the process. We've unlocked it today. We've just unlocked a niche you maybe hadn't considered. Now, the next wave is for you to actually go in and validate that this niche is something you should be selling in. But let's rewind back to where we came from so we understand how we got here. We went into our own shopping list called Your Orders. We were looking through products. You can actually do the exact same thing, okay? You know what you're buying. You know it's there. We could have gone after these journals. This may have been a good one to look at, too. There's a bound leather journal. It looks like someone's getting this today in my house for probably my daughter. She loves to journal and she loves to read, and that probably goes along very well with the Hobbit Lord of the Rings Deluxe Pocket set, because she just I know what somebody's getting for Christmas. Shh, don't tell her I said that. All right, so this is where we love to mine more items to explore within your list. Of course, you can take the products you've already purchased and just decide the avatar and the audience. That's very powerful too. But also remember, you can drive into these two areas, which is what we did. And in a single click, we came up with telescope lenses, which most people don't even think about. We clicked literally on this guy here, if memory serves me correctly. But you can see there's all kinds of other different components to go through and look at. You can go through these additional items based on your history to explore and literally go into different niches. If you're at the very top level of what the hello do I sell? You could look at this as a niche that you would consider evaluation, creating a most list of products, which just is, is it potential sellable? Does it have, a decent BSR on it? Should I consider selling it and putting on my list and just building that list? Because once you get to that list, the next step, of course, is to evaluate those products. We call it putting it on your more list, more profitability, more sales, more opportunity. That more list is the one that you would actually validate and be looking for sourcing opportunities. See, what happens is if you don't do that second level of due diligence, folks, it's most people are selling at that first level. They put a product on their more list. They don't even know what it is. They go to the most list. They just put products out there and they think, well, maybe I should sell that because I can make money with it. They have no intent to understand the market. And if you understood the conversation that you and I just had here a minute ago, I was talking about the person I could see using this. Who am I going to serve with this product, right? and really understanding who am I going to serve. So as I get this product in the market, and I'm looking for other product variables that go along with it, which could be variations, size, shape, and colors. It could be different products that serve this market. It can be, in my 5x5 methodology, it could be products in which I'm going to pull 5 of these together. I could subset this into all different kinds of areas. I could go into, Billy, right? I was just going to, you caught me. Yes, you could go into like kids telescopes, right? You could go sideways, like looking for kids accessories and match the kid demographic, which is the moms 25 plus, into telescopes. And you could mash that up and look for products that go into that. So as we're looking over here, ASIN Inspector is basically pulling that niche backwards as we looked at it a minute ago. We were looking for something that's more easy to move. There's no electronics. It's mostly high perceived value of this product because really it's a complicated piece of plastic. But it has a high perceived value. And because of that, you can see there's a lot of money being made in it. Bundled together, this may have even more perceived value than just the individual unit by itself, which could be the competition or opportunity that you might present. But as you can see, just at a very top level, we have brand names that are not Terra, like Solomark rings a bell for me, but I can't quite figure out where. You might know. But we can see there's a lot of money to be made in this market. Now, this is in electronics, as I recommended we don't sell in before, but it is not an electronic product itself, right? That's where it gets to be a little bit fun. It's technically not an electronic product, although it sells in electronics, which is a big category. We don't recommend you sell the actual electronics because of the difficulties in selling them. Now, this particular data point, this one's gone off the radar. By the time we've pulled it, either the listing isn't selling anymore or they don't have the relative data, which is why you see that metric right there. When it's available for sale and we can pull the numbers, we will see them show up in here. So we've looked for something. Whoops, I meant to go more than $10 in profit. I meant to do ratings better than 4.5. My bad. Talking and walking at the same time. There we go. All right, so more than $10 in profit, making more than $5,000 a month. There's 2 potential opportunities, even opening the door. Okay, this is a rail. I didn't even get to see, this is just an accessory. Hadn't considered the possibilities of the accessory, but here's an accessory plate for a particular telescope. That's pretty darn niche and not terribly complicated. And this is not a very complicated listing. This is a store I would suspect that's selling a number of different types of products. Yep, all around astronomy. Check that out. Astronomia, or how you pronounce that? Astromania? Astromania? I think combining 2 words into one totally terrible name. These are killer graphics. Look at these graphics. Oh man, that looks like something straight out of... I can hear Neil deGrasse Tyson right now talking over this page. All right, so as we go through this, we are looking at a not complicated listing, not terribly, just a product they probably tossed out there. Not many people are probably competing in photo adapters. They have a good department rating. As long as they're keeping their cost of goods at 17.5 below, they're making some money on this product. And there's opportunity in this. I mean, they've got 21 ratings, 13 answered questions. This data is, of course, estimated based on sales velocity, numbers, and current ranking. Part of the algorithm, part of the data we do pull together. And so you take that to a degree and have to validate it against the market for a couple more of these products so you can average it out. But let's just say, at 35% cost of goods, that's the most we would want you to consider, which is why it's built into the tool. I need $17.50 is what my cost of goods needs to be on that thing right there. Like that piece of metal, right? It's not rocket science. And I'm looking at a listing that isn't very good at the end of the day. It's probably not ranking very well. It's because it's part of a brand. As we mentioned or saw a minute ago, I clicked and I opened this, visit this store. I right-clicked and opened it, and we see that this is a product accessory within a whole brand called Astromania. I believe that's how we'll say that, Astromania. Anybody feel free to correct me. I won't be listening if you do. Just kidding. So these images and this whole setup is all around everything, man. This is a perfect brand example of someone who went deep into this niche. And because of that, they've got a lot of products and a lot of opportunities. Why couldn't you? That's the way I always think of this, guys. Why couldn't you? And it's a $49 product that could be sourced for $17, net payout at $39. Keep your cost of goods within reason. And you got a product that could potentially do $21,177.60 if it pencils in. after you validate sourcing and manufacturing. So guys, there is some interesting products. In 20 minutes, we unlocked a niche that maybe you hadn't considered before. And it's a niche that you could potentially get into if you have no product ideas or a brand idea at this moment. If you don't know what to do next with this, if you're kind of lost, I recommend you come over to the freemztraining.group page and sign up for my summit on the 26th. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go one level deeper with you, which is we're going to take those particular products, we're going to break them down over 3 to 5 days, and we're going to go into the numbers. I'm going to show you how we evaluate these products. And then if you want to take the next step with me, we do have a coaching and mentorship we talk about behind that. If you are curious as to what we are doing, who I am more, there's a 19-minute case study video over here at ASIN360.com that you can come check out. For those of you who are not currently around me in my network or on one of my coachings or whatnot, you can come watch that video and then see about a no pressure conversation with me to talk about your business, where you are, where you're going, or where you would like to be. So check that out, guys. Those links are in there right now. We do this as a business, and we teach others how to do it well. We had a case study come up the other day. In fact, if you go to the ASIN360.com and watch, I was just updating the page a minute ago for a cool case study for one of our guys who came in here, and he followed this process. He came through the trainings just like you. He was sitting on the other side of that table. He went over there. Now, he got his business going within the middle of all the COVID nonsense, and so he had a bit of difficulty getting it off the ground only because he ran into launching his products in the middle of the, freaking pandemic. But he pushed through. He did it anyways. He got the work done. He got his products out there. He did this kind of research and evaluation. He launched his business, okay? He is now in day 6 of his launch. He broke 2,600 in sales a day. He's on track to do over 70,000 in sales in his business after day 6 of launching his products with us. He went through, they're organic. He has barely even got his advertising online for Amazon's PPC, which we'll do next. That's all organic sales, folks. We got him in the market. We showed him our strategies and launch processes. He's making organic sales of over $2,600 a day, 6 days into his launch. He couldn't be more happy if you tried to get him to be more happy. He is super ecstatic, and we are super ecstatic for him too. But guys, that's a process we follow of actually the due diligence, the validation and vetting of those products before they go into market, and really knowing who you're going to serve with those products in that brand so that you can do something like this, okay? You could create a brand that now in the next 30, 60, 90 days is generating sales every day automatically, organically, and that's one of the biggest things he's given feedback on is he's making sales all day long in his business now, every day, and it's increasing. Will he get to $5,000 a day? Well, you guys want to come apart, be a part of that case study, keep going with me. If you stay around me, you guys will find out where he's going to go. I guarantee you, once we turn on advertising, dial in his marketing, and optimize his listings with him, he is going to get to $5,000 a day. No doubt about it. He's a go-getter, and he made no excuses. He got coaching with us, and that is one of the reasons I believe he's had the most success is we taught him exactly what to do, follow the steps, and that's all organic. So I can't wait to get his PPC campaigns. He's got some really cool videos that the team, my team did for him that will be rolling out soon, in product demonstration videos that are going to just absolutely blow it up. And those are going to go into the sponsored brands where videos can actually play. So if you guys didn't realize that, Amazon's PPC system, this is sponsored brands right up here, which you can see is Celestron Telescopes. They have their own competition over here. As you can see, another product brand listing of this particular niche. But Neil, there's 2 of these already in here. There's not possibly room for one more. Wrong. There's always room for more. And actually, I like that brand a lot better. I don't know about you guys, but I like this brand a lot better. Look at those graphics. Those are really cool. Check that out. They are doing a much better job. But they have got deep into this niche, guys. And that's what we really want you to understand. When you do that and you build your store up like this, 3-5 years from now, this business is still running. It's growing organically. Products are continuing to flow into this. And these folks are easily doing $300,000 to $1 million a month in sales, just based on the profitability of these products and their current price points. It's not hard for me to know that by just evaluating this at the surface level. And having done this for 8 years, that is a fun little niche. So we opened up telescope eyepieces today, folks, which means you can go crazy. And Celestron is one of the top brands. See, I don't know the market yet, but I would go do my diligence, and I would encourage you to. There is one brand here, and I'm being told that it is the #1 telescope brand in the world. See, I don't know this niche, but there is room in this niche, no doubt about it. And if you could see the price points that are here, by no means is this a missed opportunity. by no means, okay? Because there are places like Goski and other brands within here where I know there's opportunity. But you guys do your diligence. As always, my caveat to these types of things we do, as you know, is you need to do your own diligence and do your own thing. If I show you things today for products and opportunities, it is not a guarantee that is going to sell or that you will see or the results that we're showing you today. Do your diligence, do your homework, go figure out if it pencils in, and then decide if it's a product or a niche that you should be competing in. We just open up the opportunities for you to see things and go after things you hadn't considered before, and that's what these Thursday calls are all about. So my caveat away, there is still a lot of fun little opportunities to niche into this. So guys, there's my 25 minutes. There's 2 different product opportunities as well as product niches you should consider and do your diligence on. And now you know the process of going through and thinking through what they should do. And really the rubber meets the road at the next stage, folks, and that is where you actually make sure that you source those products and understand profitably that they are going to make you money and that you are going to see them represent the success that you actually expect for them. All right, so Billy's asking, do you have time? Yes, I will take a few more minutes. Kids, telescope. So we got telescope, 7-year-old, 10-year-old beginners. We got books, we got tripods, we got a scope set, we got a telescope and microscope. I can see that being something very niche right there for like maybe homeschoolers or people who are very science and nerdy. But 7, 10-year-olds, let's just go into the top end of kids' telescopes. It's not a terribly large niche, which is okay. We will see ourselves dropping in to telescopes and kids' telescopes under children's optics. So let's go ahead and dive into here. That's a bit niche. So we're getting down here and we are realizing, okay, max UC telescope for kids, price is anywhere, $35 to $99, $11, $32, etc., up to $149. I mean, you're getting into some serious business up in here. And of course, we got things like even binocular opportunities. So I would come in here, guys, let's just go ahead and through this real quick. Let's just pull that up and let Kids Telescope, the keywords, show us what's possible. We can look for telescopes at the top end. I do have the keyword that's in here right now, but we can remove that keyword and just look in. What you see up here is that's the node. So we are on the lowest part of this niche on this particular type of category for telescopes, being kids. And then we can kind of break into top kids, hot new releases. Definitely don't go there because we don't have a lot of data. Most gifted is not a bad place to see where people are gifting products. Bestsellers, you already know if you've been around me, do not go into the bestseller category and try to compete with those folks. One of the areas I like to go into is most wished for, which means people are very intentional and why do they like them? Does that mean they don't sell? Not at all. Most wished is just giving you an idea of what's in demand, what could be trending. And then we can see here initially, just by looking at it through my eyes, the volume of sales it looks like for kids is going to come from binoculars, not the actual telescopes, right? There are a lot of binoculars appearing as much as there are telescopes, which is fascinating because my kids always want to play with binoculars and they always want to play with grandpa's binoculars. So he's always like, okay, just don't break them. My kids are pretty cool. But you can see immediately, profit margins aren't terribly good out of the gate, and that's probably because of the lower profit or price points for a lot of these products. But if you are, 56 up here with $18 in profit, 44 with 16, 35 with 11, 99 and 27. So, we're starting to get into profitability, and that's a whole setup right there. That's the full-on mounted refracting telescope, beginner telescope for kids. It is the bestseller in telescope and refractor, so that explains why we're looking at the numbers we're looking at. They're pulling in a potential $98,000 a month in the bestsellers, which is cool because ultimately, if you're going to get in the market, you want to become the bestseller. Who wouldn't? But we can see that there's a variable for types of telescopes. Here is another competing telescope, which is very close to being a bestseller. 220. It's a very similar type of package, a whole beginner's package, which is kind of a bundle scenario. And they got some really great graphics here showing how it all works, but just kind of ironic. I think this is a kids/beginners, but I don't see any kids. So they went after the beginners. It has an estimated 57,000 in profit per month. Okay. Interesting. But it should be giving you some ideas that there is some money in here, but I'd be careful about competition and saturation. As you can see, a lot of these type of bundles, but there can, again, riches in the niches doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sell a bundle to compete in this market. You could just sell the different accessories, right? It doesn't mean that this is not an opportunity for this market. It means that you're going to just need to, keep doing your diligence, doing your sourcing, finding your products and your profitability, watching out for who is, the top seller, as Jesus pointed out a minute ago, making sure you know the competition, understand the market very well, and then know what the level of effort is going to be required to compete in a market like this. Knowing there's some major brands that are kind of dominating this, it's not that you necessarily shouldn't go in here, it's that you're going to be potentially up against some good competition. The question we always want to find out is saturation. There could be a bit of saturation that takes a little bit more due diligence than we'll do on this call, but we always train our people, for those of you who are in our coaching, this, to go identify those things and to get very successful in where to take an approach. Do we go straight into this market as a bundle operator? Do we go in as an accessory operator, or do we not go into this market at all? And you never know the answer to that just yet until you go and run the numbers. But is there money in this market? Yeah, you tell me, right? There's money in this market, and that means there's opportunities. And the kids side, as we went through that just a minute ago, Billy, kids definitely looking to be more on the binocular side, which would take us a little bit differently than where you were headed, but a little bit more results, a little bit different price points. People aren't quite as willing to spend as much money for these types of products as they are for the telescopes, but you could potentially bundle some things together like this, which might get your price point up, but initially gut is going to be telling me there's a lot of saturation and potentially price competition, which is going to remove this from my particular product list once I validate it. It may not initially come off the list because it's a part of my more list, and I'm going to say kids binoculars, put it on the more, the most list. But is it on the more list? Is there more profit? Is there more opportunity? Does it pencil in? Those are the things you're going to want to dig into next to ensure you meet the criteria capable of really producing a product that will have long-term sustainability. And as you see the numbers, for those of you who might be questioning with ASIN Inspector, if it's less than $10, it's going to go into the yellow. That means that you're going to be competing for profitability at the level everyone else is, which means you're going to be fighting for that same amount of traffic. And unless you can come in with a bigger product with a better variation and a higher perceived value, in which you could get $10 to $15, I'd say $15 in profit from your product, either through the buy box price or through negotiations in your manufacturing, you're going to stall out on this product. And that's where a lot of sellers get stuck, okay? That's where they get stuck in evaluating the products. They get in here and then they wonder why they can't sell this product, and they've got 100 units of it that won't move in 90 days. And it's because they didn't really look and say, well, I'm competing for the same traffic these other guys are at the same competition, same level, same buy box prices, at the same profitability. Well, no one's going to dominate each other. So at this point, it's always a race to the bottom on pricing. And you're going to see that in the variations of these products over time as their price fluctuates up and down greatly, while they are constantly trying to outmaneuver each other on pricing, almost all pricing. And you do not want to be at the pricing. We want to be raising our prices over time. We do not want to be lowering our prices. And so I want you to understand where the outcome of this goes. Could you make money in this? Yes, but don't have the same kind of expectations at this point that you're going to come in and dominate these guys, at this particular level until you get down into this level of electronics selling at this BSR. And I'm telling you what, you're going to be spending a lot of money to get that product down below 200 in BSR. So at this point, I would disqualify this niche for competition, saturation, and price alone. It wouldn't even go on my list, right? If you could come again with some variable, some differentiation, price point differentiation, or it was a product as part of a whole brand line where it wasn't a single product and a one-hit opportunity, now you might find yourself into, kids and outdoor exploring, in which binoculars like this are just one of the particular products they might get with this whole brand line aimed for kids who love the outdoors, just to put those two together and get your brain on that, right? All right, so guys, I've talked a lot about where we are today. Hopefully you found value in this. If you found value and you want to go deeper and you'd like to know more about what we're doing, head over to ASIN360.com. Check out the video. Give me a call on that if you want to have some conversation about where your business is and where you want to go. If you still want a little bit more time to figure out what we're doing, how we work, and the process, it goes even deeper over 5 days. This is a free training coming up where I will be opening the doors this weekend, and the live training starts next Monday. And I will take you guys deeper. You can see that comes up in 3 days. That's the Free MC group. Those are in the comments and in the description above. Guys, I hope you got some good value out of this today. Thanks for joining me. For those who hung out a little bit longer, who let me get my mute off at the very beginning, I hope you enjoyed this session every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We will do this again next week. We'll go through new products, and we do it as a trending and opportunities to do with things that are happening right now, which is a big amount of things that are going on in the world right now, as you can probably tell. So I'm going to go real quick through here to make sure I didn't miss any questions. I'm just going through the comments to make sure I didn't catch anything. Oh, Laura, apologize. I didn't see. How do we gauge saturation? Great question. So saturation is a gauge of the amount of products that are currently in that niche in which there isn't a terrible amount of variation. And it's most simply identified by going into the product search, by doing your keyword search, and then looking at the first 9 products. If the first 9 products are all very similar in shape, size, color, and price point, you are probably headed towards a saturation situation. And that's the most easy, simple way for you to recognize that that's maybe a no-go situation. All right, now there are other variables we teach on in our coaching, and it's covered in the videos. So Laura, you can go check those out for price and competition evaluation and market research, which will go deeper into understanding the other variables of saturation that we've identified in the last 8 years of doing this. Our whole goal is to get you into a position with your products and brands where you become a Brennan, you become a Matt and a John, where when you put those products in the market, you know who you're serving, you know they're profitable, and you know that literally they're going to start selling within 24 hours organically. And that is just what happened with Brennan, as the case study shows. You can go to ASIN360.com. I'll be publishing that case study on that page behind that sign up here soon. And you can evaluate what's just happening with Brennan in our most recent case study of him shooting over $2,600 a day. If you would like me to show you how we're doing that, then you guys please connect with me through one of the major mechanisms I just deployed out here today. And a nice way of saying, hook up one of the websites and let's talk. So if you guys have a great rest of your Thursday, get out there and sell something, find your products, and as I always like to say, if you don't make time for your Amazon business this week, you will make time for your job next week. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I'll chat with you later.